First, let me show my respect for a great NBA Finals that we all just witnessed. Like, it didn't go Game 7, but it was very entertaining. Congratulations to the Warriors for showing all their championship mettle and fighting through all their adversities all season long. But most importantly, congratulations to the Toronto Raptors for winning their first championship in franchise history, something that no one could have predicted before the season started. But this video is geared to talk about something a little different, a new method in the NBA that's proven to be a success, something we like to call one-year rentals. Now, just for the uninformed, a one-year rental is when a team trades for a superstar with 1 year left on their contract. One of the biggest gambles a team can make, because if the player doesn't want to re-sign with them and they give up a bunch of valuable assets, the team can be left with no superstar and lost of a bunch of assets, so they can be just left empty, and that's not what any team wants. If you've been keeping up with the Anthony Davis trade saga, he has 1 year left on his contract, and his agent Rich Paul just warned Boston that if they give up a bunch of young talent for Anthony Davis, essentially they're going to be wasting their time because he's only staying 1 year. Now in the NBA today, we're seeing stars more than ever take control of their careers. Where it was once like a owner, coach ran NBA, that has completely changed. Now the superstars are realizing their worth. Like, they're realizing we are the product, so let's take control of our careers. They express when they're unhappy with the team and they make it public. They demand trades and they pretty much hold their teams hostage when they want. Like, it may sound cowardish or backstabbish or whatever, but here's the mindset of a superstar. Say I'm Giannis and I'm on my last year of my deal and I want to trade to the Lakers bad. Like, that's where I want to be. I want to be in LA. I don't want to be anywhere else. All he has to do is request a trade and make it public that the only team he will be re-signing with after his deal is the Lakers. The Bucks wouldn't want to lose him for nothing, so of course they're going to do anything in their power to make that trade happen ASAP, so they can at least get some young players and, you know, at least keep their head above water. Like, the last thing an NBA team wants is to be left like the 2010 Cavaliers after LeBron left. They had no backup plan, they made no trades, they made no moves, they were blindsided, and after LeBron left and took all his success with him, they turned into a lottery team. So my point is, you would think that any other logical team that was in their right minds would shy away from a player that had their focus predicated on one team, but it seems like that might be coming to an end because of one thing. That reward for that player might just be bigger than the risk. Say, for example, the Toronto Raptors, right? Now, as we all know, last summer they went out on a limb and traded their best player, who was already on a long-term deal, for a better player on a 1 year deal. What's the risk? Like, honestly, like, what's really the risk? If they keep DeMar DeRozan, I mean, at best, they maybe make the Eastern Conference Finals, if even that. I'm not sure if DeMar DeRozan can get past that Philly team that Toronto did this year. I don't think DeMar DeRozan can get them to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's just my opinion. So pretty much, you're just really a solid team in a weak conference with no chance at a real championship. I mean, like, is that it? Is that the only thing you risk for maybe the best player on the planet? Now, I don't want to be stupid, so let's look at the other part of the risk that I don't want to leave out. What if you get Kawhi and it's a total disaster and he ends up leaving your organization? Well, at least you can live with the rebuild and say, okay, I threw all my chips on the table for a shot at gold. Like, you can live with that. Why would you settle for average when you can be possibly great like they are right now? So the other side of it, what's the reward? Well, we just saw it last night. You signed the greatest player to ever put on your uniform, and he just had one of the greatest runs in playoff history. Now, obviously, Kawhi gets to celebrate and enjoy his victory right now, but he still has less than 3 weeks to make a crucial decision. And what if he decides, I did my time, I delivered a championship, and it's time to move on? Was it worth it for Toronto? Hell yeah, you just beat the damn Warriors and you just got your first championship in franchise history. Like, I don't care if it was a 1 year rental, I would take one championship for 1 year rather than 10 Eastern Conference semi-final appearances with DeMar DeRozan. It was worth it. Now, on to my other example, and really the pioneer of the 1 year rental being a success, Paul George. When Paul George decided that he wanted out, he made it abundantly clear that the Lakers were the clear team on his mind. He had 1 year left on his contract as well, so any team trading for him that wasn't named the Lakers would clearly be taking a risk. But with all that being said, he ended up on OKC with Russell Westbrook and actually enjoyed his time there. Against everybody's prediction, he ended up staying with OKC and building what they started with Russell Westbrook. So it's safe to say, again, even in that example, the 1 year rental really worked. Now, I want to touch into the next aspect of why the 1 year rental might be working. Simply put, money. You see, when Kevin Durant made the move to go to Golden State, it wasn't just bad for business because of the parity of the NBA. Mainly, it was bad for the free agents behind him that wanted to follow in his footsteps and leave their teams as well. After the KD move, the CBA implemented the new rule consequently known as the Kevin Durant rule. Simply put, this rule allows the team that actually drafted the superstar or the team that traded with the team that drafted the superstar to offer the most possible money. So for example, Stephen Curry, when he got his deal, Stephen Curry was able to get $209 million from the Warriors because they were the team that drafted him. The next team's best offer had to be $76 million less than that. So who do you think he's going to pick? It's like not even an option. I mean, you have to be really unhappy and dissatisfied with the team to leave almost $100 million on the table. So for Kawhi Leonard, he had already lost $30 million because he left the team that drafted him. The Spurs could have offered him the supermax $220 million. Now the Raptors, they can offer him the next best at $189 million. Any other team, like say the Clippers, they can only offer him $140 million. So that means he would have lost around $80 million in that whole damn sequence. Almost $100 million just because he left two teams. So is it worth it? I'm not gonna lie, Adam Silver, I might not agree with everything, but this rule, if you want loyalty and you want players to stay where they're drafted or stay with one team, this was the rule to do it, because players, I'm sorry, they are not going to leave that much money on the table. Why do you think a player like Kemba Walker is a little bit more willing to take a pay cut with the Hornets? Because he knows he's still going to get close to that super max. If he goes anywhere else, he can possibly lose $30 to $40 million just because he left the team. So my overall point is that this makes it a lot more favorable for the renter who's renting the player, and it gives the player a little less leverage because they're not going to leave that much money on the table. I guarantee Paul George, if the money was kind of equal, his decision might have been a little bit different if OKC and the Lakers offered the exact same amount. I'm not too sure, but I believe Paul George, if he would have left OKC and went to the Lakers to join LeBron, he would have left around $46 million on the table just because he decided to depart and go to LA. Is that worth it when you can live in LA in the offseason? Probably not. I'm telling you now, teams, especially after this NBA Finals, teams are going to be more willing than ever to pull that plug on a superstar, even if he's on a freaking half-a-year deal. They're going to be like, man, maybe we can possibly persuade him to stay. If we can get one championship out of him, that's damn worth it. If he can stay and like the culture. Toronto, I mean, that was nowhere near Kawhi's destination choices. Like, he didn't want to go to Toronto. He ended up winning an NBA championship there, and now he has a whole country behind him, so he might stay. With all the reports that speculated that Kawhi didn't want to be in Toronto and he was kind of upset that he got traded there, if he decides to stay and after he just won an NBA championship, this is going to make NBA teams everywhere pull that plug and say, F that 1 year rental, we will do it, we will take him. Just give us the start and let us handle it from there. So get in the comment section and let me know if you think this whole 1 year rental thing just possibly changed the whole spectrum of the NBA. Me personally, I think it did with Kawhi winning the championship, but I want to hear what you guys think. I hope you guys enjoyed this NBA season as much as I did. We finally have a new NBA champion. I'm happy. I'm excited for what's next. And I'll keep the content coming. We have a lot to come with the free agency, the draft, all that stuff. I'll keep the content coming. If you guys like the video, make sure you guys leave a like. Make sure you guys follow my Instagram. If you're not following my Instagram, you're missing out on a lot. Follow my IG right now and my Twitter. That's where you can stay in contact with me and pretty much see what I'm posting and things like that. So make sure you guys follow those. I hope you guys enjoyed the season like I said earlier. Make sure you guys follow my social media, do all that great stuff. And until next time, stay tuned.